The clip before you, regardless of its source or content, is one of the most well-known videos leaked from the dark web. The dark web, once a mysterious enigma known only for unsettling clips, became a marketplace for prohibited items and unethical activities. Today, these figures have surfaced publicly, and their actions are clear, no longer hidden in a world we only knew through rumors. They have become influencers in society, with thousands of followers on social media. You might be surprised to learn that 2 words alone were behind their rise to fame. Today, these are the most popular words on TikTok: push, 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 push. For those watching me for the first time, I'm Amin the narrator, sharing all that's strange and mysterious on Earth. As always, let's remember that we are still committed to our mission. Even if you enjoy this video, don't let it make you forget that victory comes with patience. Today, I'll tell you stories and controversies that happened on TikTok and similar platforms, stories that might seem unbelievable. I'll discuss famous Arab influencers whose actions led to incidents beyond anything caused by a notorious figure you all know. I'll reveal what the dark web truly entails, why it's genuinely dangerous, and its most harmful aspects, far beyond the strange and disturbing clips many assume define it. I'll tell you about incidents involving artificial intelligence that led to the creation of new, unconventional job markets with far-reaching effects. Today, we'll understand how trends form and how topics like betrayal, marriage, and divorce appear on these platforms, turning drama into fame and income. This video is packed with stories you're hearing for the first time, so focus. Tomorrow, you could be the next target. On May 2nd, 2024, in the Switzerland of the East, Lebanon, the General Security Office detained a man named George Mayad. He was found responsible for disturbing offenses. George, a social media personality known for unusual hairstyling, was not just about entertainment. He created extreme stunts, sometimes placing a fish tank or hot chili peppers on someone's head, all in the name of humor and fame. His videos, though provocative, gained popularity as he cultivated an online persona under the guise of comedy. Yet, what no one realized was that George was allegedly using social media as a means to fund questionable networks. His public image concealed a darker reality. Behind the scenes, he was reportedly involved in disturbing activities known only to his associates and those affected. When he was arrested, his story unfolded. His fame revolved around a simple catchphrase: "Want something to drink?" George would allegedly invite young teens to his shop, offering them free services before asking them to join exclusive parties he organized. He would assure these teens, using his fame and social influence, that attending these gatherings was safe and exciting. Upon arrival at these events, often in remote chalet areas, young people would find that the promised guests were absent. When asked, George would reassure them, encouraging them to relax and enjoy the atmosphere while waiting. Allegedly, he pressured attendees into trying substances. Once they were compromised, he would exploit the situation. Some victims reportedly found themselves threatened with recordings if they revealed the truth. The influence he wielded extended through social media, particularly on platforms like TikTok, which made him a figure of influence. Using these platforms as leverage, he allegedly hosted secret gatherings, persuading individuals to participate in inappropriate acts, capturing everything on video. But George was not acting alone. His network reportedly involved several associates, with well-known clients also implicated. The web of secrecy continued as some victims came forward, despite fears of his reach and influence. Ultimately, the weight of evidence led to his arrest, revealing years of activity that had gone unnoticed. Through high-profile connections, George had allegedly created an environment where misconduct flourished, unbeknownst to his social media followers. After years of secrecy, victims began to come forward, sharing their stories, enabling authorities to investigate further. The story of George is, unfortunately, not unique. There are others in similar situations, appearing as reputable figures while operating in secret. One case led authorities to a different scandal in Egypt involving an influencer known as the 5th District Phantom, renowned for his TikTok content. His influence was not limited to teaching English, but extended into far darker areas. One user of TikTok, known as the 5th District Phantom, earned large sums, not just from social media, but also through his hidden involvement in other questionable activities. Some young people's families, instead of filing complaints, tried to appeal to him directly to avoid publicity, showing the level of his influence. Despite these efforts, he allegedly dismissed them harshly, placing the blame back on the parents instead. This behavior continued until legal action was finally taken, and more people spoke out, revealing a network that had been active for 4 years. Over 100 individuals were reportedly connected to this network. Authorities discovered that some high-ranking figures were also involved. Investigations revealed that George's network had evaded detection for years, with prominent individuals quietly supporting his activities. Finally, as public scrutiny grew, his former supporters distanced themselves, and the investigation intensified, leading to several charges. So far, 11 individuals have come forward with testimonies regarding his actions. However, there are many whose identities remain undisclosed, hinting at a wider issue within this hidden world. If you believe this case is unique, let's take a look at a different story in Egypt, where another figure, the 5th District Phantom, led similar activities. Known for his videos on TikTok teaching English, his real reputation lies in the unsettling activities he engaged in behind the scenes. This individual, who taught English under the guise of learning through play, attracted significant attention online. While his idea appeared innocent, beneath the surface, it was reportedly a front for questionable practices. This influencer, whose TikTok page boasts over 500,000 followers, conducted live broadcasts that included challenges unrelated to English learning. In these broadcasts, he claimed to be using a new teaching style, aiming to reshape education into something enjoyable and accessible. While this concept seemed commendable, behind it, he reportedly engaged in activities that defied logic and ethical standards. This influencer, famous on both TikTok and the dark web, reportedly earned substantial amounts through his hidden operations. Before delving further into his story, let's take a brief look at the dark web itself. The dark web is part of the deep web, consisting of sites and platforms that can't be accessed through standard search engines.
بيحكوا عنه الدارك ويب، لكنه هو مش هيك. الدارك ويب هو جزء من الديب ويب. الدارك ويب عبارة عن منصات ومواقع ومحركات بحث ما بتقدر توصل لها عن طريق محركات البحث العادية. يعني لو رحت كتبت على جوجل دارك ويب ما رح توصل لأي شيء. في محركات بحث خاصة عشان توصلك بهذا الجزء من الإنترنت.
The dark web is known for hosting illicit markets, including prohibited substances and other unethical trades. We, as everyday users, know the dark web mainly for its infamous associations. But it's actually just a fraction of the deep web. This data analysis was nearly as precise as the genetic profile of some users. Essentially, they can infer what's in your genetic makeup. To put it simply, if someone ran a DNA test, the results could indicate their likes, dislikes, and even certain personality traits. The data analysis done here was 76% accurate, much like a genetic test. It's as if they understand what's embedded in your DNA. This information ensures you stay on these platforms as long as possible, seeing content and ads that are precisely tailored to your interests. While this may seem like just another technical process, this data is extremely valuable and has been used in ways that raise ethical concerns. For example, remember the major 2018 controversy involving Cambridge Analytica? The company collected data from over 60 million Facebook users. Some sources claim that data from over 200 million people was affected. This data was obtained in a questionable deal with Meta, Facebook's parent company. This information was then used in the U.S. election campaign, significantly contributing to Donald Trump's victory. The method was straightforward. During the campaign, Trump's team launched thousands of posts aligned with the psychological profiles of each user. These posts were strategically timed to appear when they would most influence each person, shaping public sentiment and encouraging people to support Trump. Regardless of the truth of these claims, the strategy used was based on people's emotions and preferences. A powerful and subtle influence. The impact on elections is one thing, but similar tactics were reportedly used by Facebook in India during the tragic events in Burma. Reports suggest that posts detailing the violence were hidden, while posts containing hate speech continued to circulate, fueling tensions. This manipulation allowed the violence to continue unchecked. And sadly, we can see similar tactics being used today in conflicts affecting people worldwide. Many of us witnessed the extensive media efforts to influence public opinion during recent conflicts. Interestingly, in 2021, a Netflix documentary discussed the hidden power of the internet. This documentary suggested that by 2030, influencing entire populations and even leaders would become much easier due to data collection by social media platforms. These platforms hold so much personal data and can subtly influence you without you even realizing it. The posts and videos you see are not randomly selected. The information they want you to see is delivered to you almost seamlessly. This influence is often so subtle that you may not feel in control of the content you consume. The deep web serves as a space where this type of analysis and strategy occurs constantly. These analyses are even more concerning than the strange or alarming content typically associated with the dark web. While you need specialized search tools to access the dark web, your personal data can be collected without you even realizing it. Think about those online quizzes, such as find out which player you resemble, or see your dream home in 2040. They collect your data as you take them, often without your knowledge. Simple links like these are used to gather data about you in ways you may not expect. This is a reminder of how the deep web functions. The deep web isn't a place filled with masked hackers. It's also where some of the world's most respected figures gather data and insights on people's emotions and choices. That's why it's essential to be cautious online and know how to handle social media. Protect your data and stay mindful of what you share. Your information is a powerful asset, and with it, others can influence your decisions, even leading you to support things that may not align with your beliefs. Artificial intelligence, AI, is another factor in this. Data, when combined with AI, can have unexpected effects. The deep web itself constitutes 90% of the internet, while the publicly accessible internet is merely the remaining 10%. This significant disparity doesn't only involve unsettling content. It primarily encompasses vast data storage and personalized information. The content most associated with the dark web is only a small part of the much larger deep web, which includes everything from secure databases to academic resources. While the deep web covers a wide range of information, the dark web is the niche section where questionable activities and transactions occur. In recent years, some of these unethical practices have spread to the general internet due to the reduced focus on content moderation. Now, even some social media platforms occasionally feature such content, shifting focus toward user preferences and data instead of just content safety. Large organizations and entities use the deep web to store vast amounts of data, much of it related to personal user information. All our interactions, from social media activity to online searches, are recorded and organized, often with our profiles shaped by companies using algorithms to assess us. These companies analyze our interests and behaviors, not just to cater to our preferences, but to make more informed predictions about us. This isn't speculation. Studies, such as those conducted at MIT, have shown that algorithms can reveal surprising insights about us. In fact, research suggests that 76% of the insights gathered through this data processing are things users might not even be consciously aware of about themselves. The significant amount of personal data processed on the deep web is not only used to target content, but also to understand user behavior on a deeper level. Today, due to reduced content monitoring, content that once only existed on the dark web has started to surface on the mainstream internet. Instead of focusing on content safety, the focus has shifted toward user data and preferences, making communication across the internet much easier. This environment has allowed questionable content to spread beyond the dark web, with some even appearing in live broadcasts on platforms like TikTok. You're probably still waiting for the story of the 5th District Phantom. I'll share it. But first, a bit more about the deep web. The deep web is where the data of all internet users is collected, stored, and often analyzed to understand global internet activity patterns. This includes all data from anyone who has ever used the internet, even if only once, whether it's social media profiles, browsing habits, or personal interests. Each time you pause on a post, whether it catches your interest or not, that action is recorded and stored within specialized search databases. The things that interest you and even those you ignore are all captured, organized, and stored on the deep web by large tech companies. This data collection is then shared with other companies that focus on organizing and processing these insights using advanced technology. This organization of data allows them to know virtually everything about you, even insights you might not consciously know about yourself. A recent study by MIT demonstrated this by analyzing user data on social media, revealing that predictive algorithms can produce surprisingly accurate insights. The findings showed that approximately 76% of the insights derived from social media activity reveal information that users themselves may not recognize. These insights extend beyond basic data, enabling companies to predict patterns, preferences, and even personality traits with remarkable accuracy. Through analyzing Facebook users' data, they found that the analysis was so precise that 76% of the information they discovered about you are things you may not even know about yourself. Today, there are designers who specialize in creating altered images. All they need is a photo of your face from several angles, and they can create realistic deepfake videos, making it hard to detect that they're not real. This technology, known as deepfake, has led to thousands of people falling victim to blackmail and fake content created to harm their reputation. Often, this all starts from a simple personality quiz link that gathers data and allows malicious actors to create damaging content. Some may feel unaffected, but even those far removed from the internet's darker side have been impacted by these tactics. An example was a young woman who tragically ended her life after being blackmailed by a classmate with fabricated images. She felt that even her family wouldn't believe her innocence. To avoid falling victim, we must all be vigilant and guard our personal data and that of our loved ones against this kind of exploitation. Some individuals don't even need to use deepfakes or designers to manipulate others. Take, for instance, the infamous 5th District Phantom, Kareem Steen. Originally from the United States, he returned to Egypt with his brother after his parents divorced. He lived in Egypt for a while, but eventually returned to the US, stating he didn't enjoy life in the East. He attempted a career as a rapper, but his music didn't gain traction. Eventually, he took a job as an accountant, where he met his future wife, Lubna Ghanem, an Egyptian with British citizenship. They married, had a child, and seemed to live a normal life. However, Kareem struggled with substance abuse, which led to severe incidents at home. Once, he reportedly tried to harm his wife, but emergency responders intervened in time. she decided to leave, returning to Egypt with her child for safety. Despite Kareem's threats, she felt safe being back with her family in Egypt. However, he later revealed a hidden agenda that shocked her. Kareem had secretly installed a camera in their bedroom, capturing private moments, which he allegedly shared online for financial gain. He reportedly distributed over 300 videos without her knowledge, showing a complete disregard for her privacy. Lubna had no idea until she was blindsided by the revelations. Kareem even took some of these videos and hired a designer to digitally alter them, creating fake scenes implicating her with someone else. He then filed a lawsuit against her for infidelity. Although she was eventually acquitted, the ordeal cost her custody of her son. Some sources claim he even tried to hire someone to harm her. With no other options, Lubna returned to the UK, leaving behind her son and cutting ties with Kareem. Yet Kareem allegedly continued his questionable activities. He worked with an associate named Hanan, who introduced him to young women. After coercing them into compromising situations, he would record videos and post them online. As his fame grew, so did the demand for his content, allegedly leading to even more extreme and troubling content. He reportedly engaged in even more harmful activities than he shared online, all while maintaining a respectable social media presence, particularly on TikTok. He presented himself as a social media influencer, hiding his true intentions. He allegedly lured more than 28 young women into precarious situations. Tragically, some of these incidents turned fatal. 3 individuals reportedly lost their lives under suspicious circumstances related to his actions. Investigations continue, but it's troubling to think that he operated this way for 3 years, amassing hundreds of videos exploiting people's vulnerabilities. His influence on social media, particularly TikTok, allowed him to easily reach his targets through the live streaming feature, a platform popular with today's youth. Unfortunately, live streams and challenges on platforms like these have led some to abandon their values, participating in attention-seeking stunts. The pursuit of likes and gifts on TikTok, represented by images like lions and whales, has normalized certain behaviors, making social media a dangerous playground for some. Figures like George Mayad and Kareem Steam have emerged from obscurity, gaining influence. Their rise shows a need for stricter ethical oversight on content. Today, public online displays sometimes lead to stories of betrayal, divorces, or conflicts meant to grab attention and gain followers. In some cases, people create entire narratives, staging events for views. These stunts cater to audiences seeking sensationalism at the expense of genuine values. The goal is often trending views, regardless of the toll it may take on their personal lives. This lack of boundaries has led some to question the moral responsibilities of influencers. Calls for ethical standards and monitoring continue to grow, as content that once existed only on the dark web has become a part of public, live-streamed media. Live streams today often disregard the fact that young audiences are watching, potentially shaping their perspectives and choices. Some countries, such as Saudi Arabia, have taken positive steps toward regulation, requiring licenses and compliance with specific guidelines for content creators. This approach could help safeguard online spaces, ensuring that the content aligns with societal standards and promotes positive values. Expanding these regulations across platforms could protect this generation and future ones from the negative impact of unrestricted content. Finally, if you're new to this channel or a returning subscriber, remember the importance of being cautious with what you consume and share online. In this video, we discuss the hidden dangers of platforms like TikTok and the growing concerns about their influence. Is social media the root cause of these issues? Or do these platforms merely expose aspects of society that were always This was today's topic. I hope you found it enlightening. I'm Amin the narrator. See you in another video.